What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Leafs Chatter. The Leafs won the draft lottery yesterday, which is fucking crazy. I was going nuts. If you want to see pretty much my post reaction 30 seconds after it happened, it's in my YouTube shorts, so you guys can check that out. But today, we're just going to be going over the top two picks that we have to decide on what we're going to do. We got Gavin McKenna or we got Ivan Stenberg. So we'll see, which one would be a better fit for us, and then we'll get into it right now. So Jason Bukala ended up joining the panel, and he gave his opinion on the two players. And basically, what he came to the conclusion was that Stenberg is actually a better choice to pick over McKenna. And his reasoning is Stenberg's playing in a tougher league right now, in the SHL, which is the Swedish league. In that league, it's known to be a tougher league, so putting up points is a lot harder than, in the WHL, for example. But it seems like what they also forgot to mention is McKenna, he's playing in, university league, so he's playing with older kids too. They're not, they're all not like all 18, 19 years old. Like there's some in like they're in close pushing almost their mid 20s too. So you got kids like that. So I feel like, yeah, the SHL is tougher, but there's more to it than that. Like when you look at the two, and this is what Jason was saying, McKenna is going to be a star in terms of offensive production. Defensive production, he wasn't a big fan of. He thinks that he's going to be a defensive liability pretty much. And like for now, at least for the first couple years until he can get his play to NHL level in terms of overall player. Um, Stenberg, though, they said that he's pretty much already capable of being a 200-foot player. He's good defensively. He has a good hockey IQ. He's offensively gifted as well. Not as much as McKenna. McKenna is an offensive machine. But if you're looking for an all-around player, they're saying that Stenberg is the way to go. But we'll get into it more now and look into the stats. First, we'll get into Ivar Stenberg. So getting into him here, he's a good player. They're both really good players. That's why they're going to be the top two picks. And whoever we pick at the start, San Jose is just going to pick right after. So the defensemen in the draft, I think, are going to be, pushing like third, fourth, fifth. Like I don't like. There's no way the Leafs are drafting a defenseman. I think San Jose should draft a defenseman, but given the opportunity, I feel like they're going to pick Stenberg, unless they trade. If they trade their pick down to get somebody else, get a decent asset back, you never know. But he's a left and right winger. He's 6 feet, 181 pounds. So he's a normal, regular sized hockey player. He's a regular sized dude. I mean, he's still young, so he can grow. He can get to like me, who knows, maybe 6'1", 6'2", you never know. And he shoots left. Now, he's got a very good hockey IQ. He's good hands, and he's a good playmaker, from what they're saying. It's not in here, but apparently he plays the game with not a crazy edge, but he has a little bit of physicality to his game. Now, when you look at his stats here, in the SHL with Frölunda HC, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but he had 33 points, 11 goals, 22 assists in 43 games, and he was a plus 10. Now, this is actually really good. This is a really good stat, especially in the SHL. Like I said, it's a very tough league, so the fact that he's putting up, pretty decent points there, that's definitely good to see. Then he was in the Sweden under-20 World Juniors. He had 10 points in 7 games. He was a plus 5. You see how he's always a plus? Like that's where it's good. International with Sweden, 3 games, 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists, and he was a plus 3. So there's a lot of stuff you have to look at, but if you're looking just at plus minus, he's very good. Like he's a very good player. He's good all around, and I feel like if the Leafs need a player that's they're saying he's going to be similar to a Sebastian Aho if his play develops. That's the type of player that you're looking at. So could the Leafs use a player like Sebastian Aho or a Barkov, where they're just great 200-foot players, they're defensively sound. Yeah, we could use one of those. These are his playoff stats. Like, not anything crazy in the SHL there. In those 6 games, he had 4 assists, and he was actually a -3, which was surprising. But in the playoffs, the year prior, he had 6 points, which is pretty good. 3 goals, 3 assists in 12 games, and he was a zero, so he finished even. So I mean, it really depends. At the end of the day, they're young kids, so their hockey still got to develop. But they're saying, or Jason was saying, that if you're looking for a more ready now guy, this is a guy that can kind of check off a lot of boxes. But my personal opinion, I feel like you have to go with McKenna. You have to. I mean, at the end of the day, Gavin McKenna, he can. If Matthews says, I want to pick up and leave, okay? I don't know if that's going to happen, but if Matthews says, I got to get out of here, you guys can trade me, these are the teams that I'm willing to go to, at least you have a offensive dynamo like Gavin McKenna on your team. You know what I mean? Like, you want to cover all your bases. I'm not saying Ivar's not going to be like that. It's just it's different. Like, McKenna's going to be, I personally think, the closest thing to a Connor Bedard that we're gonna see. I think he's gonna be, maybe not his first year. Maybe I think his first season, if you play him with Matthews, he's gonna get like 60 points minimum. I honestly think that. And like, he's not. The problem is he's not oversized. He's 6 foot, 170 pounds. Now, if Berube's coaching this team, he's gonna make sure that that kid's at least 190 before he gets into camp. He's gonna have to put on a lot of weight for sure. But he has good hockey IQ too. He's a really good playmaker, heavy shooter. He's got a wicked shot. And they're say, yeah, he's an offensive forward. That's one of the pointers there too. That's pretty much all he is though. He's a good power play guy. So you get a power play specialist and you get an overall really good offensive player. And I think that's something the Leafs could, any team at the end of the day can use a player like that. But it depends on what you think is more valuable. Do you think the Leafs need more defense? Yeah, I think we our defense was the worst it's ever been this year. But at the end of the day, a player like this only comes around so often, and we have the chance to get him. It's huge. Like, look at his stats. Like, keep in mind, this is with the WHL. Don't compare the WHL to the SHL. It's not the same. You can start looking at, when he's with Penn State. Like, that's pretty similar. You know what I mean? It's not exact. I still think the SHL is definitely more difficult, but it's still more of a challenge. So with the WHL with the Medicine Hat Tigers, he had 41 goals, 88 assists for 129 points in 56 games. In comparison, like, that's pretty. That he had more points, I believe, than Bedard, and McDavid in his final year. At the end of the day, like, obviously McDavid's McDavid. That doesn't matter, but I'm just showing you in comparison, like they were putting up numbers like that. You know what I mean? So that's something that you should keep an eye on. Now, he didn't have a really good World Juniors, in my opinion. Like, he only had 1 goal in 5 games. He needed to be better than that. And then, he showed up. He showed up again right there. 7 games, 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points, and he was a +7, which is really good. But that's something you have to look at. He definitely has more dashes, especially in the NCAA. He had more dashes than Ivar did. So he had 35 games though, 15 goals, 36 assists with 451 points, which is very good. That's a very good stat. Like, he's going up against bigger kids, like 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds. That's that's really good. And he has really good playoff stats too. In the WHL, he had 38 points in 16 games. He was a +14. 9 goals, 29 assists. That's really good. I'm not taking that away from him. It's just the leagues are a little bit different, so you have to that's something you have to keep in mind. But at the same time, I feel like you got to pick this guy, especially because Chake is a stats guy. Now, yeah, his defensive stats aren't that good. He doesn't win money puck battles, but I mean, at the end of the day, if this guy could even come close, just come close to like it doesn't have to be Bedard exactly, But if he could be close to that type of player, yeah, we need that. Of course, you need that, especially if you don't know what the future holds and Matthews can literally pick up and go. At least you have a guy like that on your team to build around. So I feel like he's the best option. I know that guy Jason on Sports Center. He had his thoughts, and I thought they were really good thoughts. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Ivar's a more physical guy. You know what I mean? Like he gets into corners. He can play that power forward role. The McKenna's not going to be that type of guy. He's going to be pretty similar to Marner, but I mean, he does have like a mean streak in him. I mean, for fuck's sakes, he knocked a kid out. He beat the shit out of a kid, and he almost got charged. Glad he didn't because it was well deserved. But you know what I mean? Like if he has like at least a bit of, yeah, I just want a kid with a little bit of anger. You know what I mean? That's not afraid to get into scrums and have a bit of a backbone. Like if McKenna could grow that part of his game, that would be huge. But the thing is, Stenberg right now already has that in his game. So they're different players. In my opinion, they're completely different. You have Stenberg, and if you look at their stats, they're pretty similar, to be honest. Like again, he has 43 games played, 33 points, 11 of them goals, but he was in the SHL. McKenna 51 points, 15 of them were goals in 35 games. But you look -7 +6, so it's exactly what Jason was saying. McKenna's not very good defensively. Like he's not going to play on your PK. Stenberg can. That's what I'm saying. Like he's gonna be great on the power play, McKenna. He's gonna, be really good. You put him with anybody, Matthews, Willie, whoever you put him with, he's gonna be really good. And then Stenberg would be the same. He'd be good with either of them, but he could also play on your PK. You know what I mean? So that's what it depends on what you value more. But I feel like overall though, McKenna's I feel gotta be the guy you gotta go with. I mean, Cheka could have another opinion, and also listen, Matt Sundin is Swedish, right? So, and he's been saying he's watched a lot of European hockey, and maybe he really likes Stenberg, and he thinks that he might be the better pick than McKenna. We really don't know, but I can't see the Leafs trading down to get a defenseman. I just can't see it. I mean, again, anything's possible, but I feel like it's got to be between these two players, and we'll have to see what happens. I feel like McKenna's got to be the choice that they have to make. But if they see something in Stenberg that other teams might not, or we might not, they might change their mind. I'm just so pumped that we ended up winning the lottery, and I'm pumped to see what we can do. I mean, this is good for Chayka. Like he doesn't have to worry about convincing Matthews to stay. Like if they say we're gonna draft McKenna and you're gonna have one of the top prospects in the draft, you're gonna be playing with him next year and for the year after that, he'll stay for sure. And then he's only making league minimum. So that leaves you a good chunk to still make trades and bring in some free agents that can help out the team. At the end of the day, if you're bringing in McKenna, he's not a very physical player. So if you in the free agency, you better fill up on some players that can play the game the right way, produce, and also have that physical edge. Because I don't want this to be another Matthews, Marner, Willie situation where you bring these guys in and they don't defend themselves, they don't defend their other players. They need to learn that when they get into the NHL, that this is how you stay in, this is how you play the game. You have to be physical, you have to be a dog on a bone, pretty much. You have to be like how Nate McKinnon plays, especially when you're a superstar. You play like Nate McKinnon, you play like Kucherov. Even I was seeing Cole Caulfield and Suzuki. They play like that too. They just hound pucks and they get in there. They get into the scrums. Not all the time, but they're not going to fight. But they get into scrums. You have to be there and play with your team. You are all in the fight, and that's what they have to learn. Because Willie would never do that. Matthews will never do that. Marner will never do that. But maybe McKenna does. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see what happens. I do hope that whichever kid we end up drafting, they end up bringing some physical element to the game because they need to have that. it's not all about scoring. You also have to play the game the right way. So we'll see what happens. I, again, personally think McKenna's the way to go, but they might see differently. But that's it for this one, though, guys. I honestly don't know what else to talk about, and I don't know what else to say. I'm still super pumped we got this pick. Still super pumped. But if anything comes out, I'll make sure to make a video on it. And yeah, that's it for this one, though, guys. Have a nice rest of the day. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.